Hello, it's me again. It's Maddie. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of, I think this one will be of my Burning Man inspired set. I have been telling myself that I was going to record this since I got back in friggin' September, yes, in September of 2024. It is January 2025. Wow, she's a little bit delayed on this one. And the only way that I ended up doing it was because I was out for a friend's birthday, had a bunch of drinks and some other stuff, and then couldn't sleep. And was like, well, I'm just going to record this because I just needed, it was almost like a bedtime story. I just need some sort of songs to like let me go to sleep. And then I ended up recording a whole hour set after already recording a different hour set where I had the idea to do these little voice memos at the end of my set. So yeah, if I feel like everyone will probably be new here, anyone that makes it to the end of this, lol. But yeah, I'm using these as like a bit of a digital diary type thing, kind of for me. But people listen to a SoundCloud mix of mine and you enjoy me yapping at the end, then cool, congratulations. I really need to stop talking though, because I've damaged my vocal cords and I need to go on 3 weeks of vocal respite. Have you met me? If you haven't met me, yeah, I do not shut up, ever. But this is about Burning Man. I really wanted to record this set because I feel like it was actually really nice. It was literally like 2 a.m. last night, or this morning I should say, and I finally started playing some songs that I already had. Initially I was going to go and find a bunch of songs and put them all together to like curate a set, but the reason I just kind of did this one off the fly because after Burning Man, me and my friends, we ended up in San Francisco in a lock-in house party with some other Burning Man friends that we made, and we got a little bit silly. We let the stables out and I was literally DJing and playing like this melodic Afro Latin house for hours, for so long. And like honestly, if the guy of this house didn't kick us out at like, might I say, like 7 a.m, because we were all like this group of Aussies just bendering, I honestly think that we all could have partied in that place for like days. But I think recording this set reminded me of that moment in San Fran, even though it wasn't in Burning Man or at Burning Man or whatever. Even though it wasn't there, it still reminds me of like the whole experience and like listening to the songs back. The thing that I like about melodic house is that like, and like Afro house and that house, it has like that rolling progressive beat that makes you feel like you're going somewhere. Like it just has this, it just makes me feel like it just takes me on a journey. And I do like to think that this journey that I've kind of made, like, I do hope that if you just close your eyes, I feel like it just automatically just transfers you to what it was like for me and how it felt at that festival. There's points of, sheer bliss and like calm with, like, it just makes me think about watching the sunrise on the playa at like 6 a.m. With new friends, and you just have like a moment of stillness, but you're still surrounded by hundreds of people, and there's just this energy that's so calm, so inclusive. It was really cool. I sound like oh my god. I sound like such a wanker. I'm literally like, as in the playa, is so calm, but I'm not lying, so I'm just gonna be honest with myself. It was amazing. But then also I think in my mix, which is very accurate to what happened there, is that there's also these moments of like big party and like just celebration. It was almost like New Year's, like when we saw the man burn. Oh my god, it was an explosion. I've seen that movie. What's that movie with like this big explosion in the movie? I don't know, it came out a little while ago. Bro, it was like that. It was this big kaboom, and I was like mind blown. I thought that it was just going to be a little fire that just like slowly gets bigger and bigger, like as fires do, right? Nah, mate, one of the best fireworks shows I've ever watched in my life, followed by like a huge explosion. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Like I remember, like I was in shock. I did get the thing on video. I should probably post it somewhere, but there's another thing to do in my to-do list. But if you listen to this track, I'm trying to think of some like other stories that I have from Burning Man. Okay, there was one story. I definitely had to put In a Bloom at the end of this set. It would be illegal if I didn't do it. Purely because I think watching that set, I cried multiple times. I do find myself crying when I'm at shows and concerts now. I don't know, I just like get such a rush from the emotion and the people. I'm such a people person. I think that's my favorite thing about music, is just the idea of just bringing people together. And watching Rufus's sunset set on the playa, the people that were there, I cried multiple times. I kissed this hot Portuguese man under a jellyfish. That was pretty funny. And he saw me cry. I'm like standing there watching. He's like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "It's just amazing." This chick, oh god, like everyone else is there smiling, and I'm just like, what? She wipes away a single tear under her eye as she watches Rufus drop In a Bloom. I was like, yeah. That's the thing about memories, right? We have our words and our voice to be able to just share our experiences, but unless you were there and you have those shared moments together, like there's only so much that, even a video can hold. You can make a whole hour-long movie about my 8 days in Burning Man, and it wouldn't even capture 1% of the entire thing. Like, I feel like I'm just waffling now, but whatever. It was crazy. Oh, what stories do I have at Burning Man? Here we go. I have 2 stories. I was lucky enough to DJ at Burning Man twice. Friggin' crazy. One of them being a 12-hour set because she's a nutcase. But one of them I organised beforehand. There's this online website where you can go and figure out if there was different camps and what they could do and all this kind of stuff. And then I saw this ad for this camp being like, oh, we need a DJ. And so of course I applied, and they were like, yeah, we'll get you on at this time, come through. And I was like, sick, awesome. So that was exciting. So I went into the festival already knowing that was going to be happening. I had all the details, and it was like, bye-bye internet, bye-bye reception, all that kind of stuff. And then me and my friends and our neighbours, some of these guys are camping just across from where we were. Just across from where they were, we ended up going to this bar, and we're just talking, and we made friends with this beautiful couple, and they were like to my friend Sam, oh, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a DJ. And then I turned to him and I was like, right, I'm a DJ. And he's like, no way. And then this couple, they were like, oh my god, no way. Well, we actually are looking for a DJ on Thursday. We have an art car, it's an old church, people get married on there. We were wondering, we're looking for a DJ, would you guys maybe be free? And we're like, hell yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, nothing's going to happen from this, because I'm in the desert. I've just met these people. They're not going to be able to contact me. It's not going to be possible. I'm just like, hell yeah, that'd be great. I just tell them, I think, where I'm located, where my camp is. So, like, if it goes ahead, they can find me and then tell me. But in my mind, I don't really have my hopes up about this one. Anyways, fast forward to Thursday. That was, I think, on Monday. Fast forward to Thursday. And I have just woken up. I've just risen from the depths of the last day. And I'm lying in bed. I'm like, wow. And then I hear outside the caravan, oh, is Maddie awake? And everyone's like, oh yeah, she just woke up about 20 minutes ago. I'm just lying in bed overhearing this in the distance. And then he's like, oh, can you tell her that we have a DJ set in 20 minutes? Tell her to go to this location. The way I shot out of bed and I got ready so quickly, slapped my face on, got on my bike, and like Mad Maxed it all the way to this location to find this old church. I get there and then I see this guy and I'm like, hey, I'm the DJ. And then he's like, oh, we already have one. And I'm like, oh, I think we're going back to back. He's like, oh, great, perfect. So I get my bike, I put it on top of this old church, I run up the stairs, and I plug in, and then I start playing. And I think Sam ended up meeting me out at the church when it was out of the playa. Is that right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just DJing on this old church car, like, that is being driven out to the playa. Keep in mind, I'm on the top of this thing. I ain't got no seatbelt. I'm trying to DJ. This thing is freaking moving. So it's so wobbly and bumpy. Like, you know when you're on a bus or in a truck and you go over a speed bump or some like uneven gravel? Imagine that on the top of this art car for ages, and I'm standing trying to beat match and mix while it's being driven out to the playa. I mean, talk about an experience. Like, that was pretty funny. Like, sometimes it's hard enough to beat match as it is on a stable ground or when you're dancing too much. This was definitely testing my limits, but, you know, it was really great fun. And like, I'm driving out, I'm seeing all these people, I'm just having a hoot and a half on top of this art car. Anyways, we go out to the playa and the art car parks by these 3 like inflatable planets. It was really cool. And Sam comes and joins me. We start DJing, whatever, and then they're like, hey, yeah, so the people that are going to get married are going to come through soon, so we'll bring the music down, and then once they're married, then the friend of theirs is keen to like play for a little bit, but his USB didn't work, so Sam and I just kept playing, and you know, it's a big party, the people got married, we're like, so I've DJ'd a wedding now. It was my first. Hello, yes, my name's Maddie. The first wedding that I've ever DJ'd was actually on the playa at Burning Man on this church art car. Nuts. Anyways, and so that we're just like partying, we're DJing. I do pee. This is important to know. I do go and I do a wee. Sam DJs for a bit and I ride my bike out to these portaloos and then I ride back and I keep going, I keep DJing, and then Sam's like, I'm gonna go get some dinner, I'll meet you back at our camp. Like, no problem, I keep DJing. And then they bring the art car back to their camp, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna stop and have some dinner, but we're gonna take the art car back out again. Do you want to keep DJing? And I'm like, yeah, obviously. And so they have dinner. I think I have some food. I can't remember. I do one more pee, and then we go back out to the playa. And I DJ until the sun comes up. The only reason why I stopped DJing was because the DJ deck stopped working. Like, literally, I was like DJing like tech house, like really fun, like upbeat, and then I was like, so the sun's coming up, I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a really nice Afro house, melodic house sunset to come up. Just as I had that thought that I wanted to do that, one deck stopped working. Like, it was literally like the decks were like to me, Maddie, great job, well done. You've made it to sunrise. You need to stop. You need to go up to the top of this church and sit and just watch the sunset. You have been watching the text for hours. You need to stop. You need to rest, and you need to just take in where you are. And so I did. They had like a pre-recorded set that they could play if no one was able to play. So I just chucked that on because only one half of the deck was working. So it was good that they had that. So that played on that one while the other one carved itself. And I was also low-key worried. I was like, have I just broken their DJ decks? But no, I saw someone else playing on it the next day. So that's good. But, and then I climbed up. You could say it's kind of like a mast. I don't know. This church had like kind of like a lookout tower at the top. I climb up there and I sit down. My lower back, mate, was cooked. It was, the universe was like, you need to rest and stretch your lower back. My lower back was absolutely cooked. But I climb up to the top of this thing and I sit and I just watch the sun come up. And it was just me. It was just me. Because keep in mind, the whole time while I'm DJing on this church art car, my friends, they came and watched me with the wedding. Some of them managed to find the art car. But then after that, they all went and had dinner and stuff. And so, I just was on my own solo mission DJing for 12 hours on this art car. So it was kind of special at the end of that. I just sat up on top of this church art car watching the sun come up. And I just had like a full-on moment of bliss. And just gratitude, really. Like, it was such a special moment. That was just for me. I do have a video of what I look like at the top of this. Got my braids in, fur coat. There actually was 2 people that came up and sat for a little bit, but then the driver of the art car, he was like, oh, we're going to take the art car back, so you guys might want to get off now. Otherwise you'll end up back at 4:45 and then I stayed up there to get driven back to the campsite. And when I was saying before that DJing on the top of this art car was hard, add on an extra 5 meters on a single pole and like a little seated area, kind of like the top of a pirate ship, like a lookout like that. That's what I was on. And I was like, I'm gonna sit up here on the drive home. Mate, that thing was so rocky, and it was metal, like I was in this metal kind of mousetrappy type thing. I almost knocked out a tooth, I tell ya. Like, it was crazy, but I just loved being driven back, and I'm just looking out onto the playa, not looking at where I'm going, looking backwards. And there's people riding their bikes, I'm waving at them. Like, people would be watching this car and then look up and be like, oh my god, there's someone at the top of this church. I actually saw another neighbour of mine. I was like riding, and then I see him down there, and I'm like, oi, Jesse. And he looks up and he's like, what the hell are you doing up there? I'm like, bro, I've just been DJing for 12 hours. Oh, it was so funny. And then, got home. And then I remember getting on my bike, saying goodbye to everyone, part of the church art car. I drive back to my camp and I pull up, and my friends, 2 of my friends are at the front there, and then they're still awake, obviously having a big night. And I'm like, hey, and they're like, bro, where have you been? And I was like, I've been DJing for 12 hours on an art car, just as the deck stopped working and I watched sunrise and they drove me home. They were like, what? You're kidding? I was like, yeah. But like, I obviously had an awesome week with this. I think there was about 9 of us in this group, and like all the other people that we met. But being able to have that, it was so good. And I think another thing, like, I'd only been DJing for a little while, and I think being like a little ADHD girly, I'm like, is music and is DJing something that like I want to do? Is this something that like I want to pursue? like I heard about Fisher doing a 5-hour set, Carl Cox doing an 8-hour set, and then in my mind I was like, oh, like I've only really done like 1-hour sets, maybe longer ones, like is this something that like I'm gonna be able to do, like, or is this just a phase? Like I don't know if I would be able to do an 8-hour set, like I don't think I'd be interested for that long, or like, you know, I had these thoughts. And so I'm actually really grateful that I was able to go and play for 12 freaking hours, because I think it proved to me that no, this isn't just, it's not a phase, Mom. It's not a phase. This is something that I'm really keen to continue. So yeah, wasn't expecting to be Burning Man, but I hope you liked the set. It gives you, I guess you could say, 1% of my experience at the playa, and you could say an audio diary rather than a visual diary. So yeah, if you watch this, I'm gonna do this maybe, I don't know, we'll see if it lands or anything. If you've listened to this and you've listened to this whole I guess diary and set, whatever, I'd be really curious, as like maybe a little secret language, to know that there's people listening out there. Maybe for this particular one, whether you commented on my SoundCloud or other socials or something, what's a good emoji?
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
A fire, a man, and a water droplet. Because obviously Burning Man and me crying. That, yeah, if you comment that on anything, then I know that someone's listened. But yeah, keep this a secret. I'm not gonna post anywhere. I'm not gonna post anywhere that I have these little segments on the end of my SoundCloud. But if people enjoy them, Hakuna Matata. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. I really should go get a coffee and start my day, because yeah, last night was the night that I recorded this on. Oh, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm done. Okay, thank you if you've been listening. Hope you liked it. Much love. Hakuna Matata. Hope you have a mad day.